Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shurnivari Paschatite Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Vrinda Kund ki jai. Parasya Shakti Vivadai Vashruyate Swabhavika Jnana Bala Kriya Cha. The Shastras describe how Krishna, who's Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, the source of everything and the master of all energies, is accompanied by his potencies wherever he goes. The meaning of Bhagavan is that God has unlimited potencies. And what is the purpose of these potencies? Is to serve the Lord, to bring happiness. He's one, Eko Bahusham, but he expands himself unlimitedly for his own pleasure. And in his divine abode of Vrindavan, he plays. Once somebody asked Prabhupada why Krishna, God, plays a flute. And Prabhupada said, because he's all play and no work. In the material world, people work hard, and even though they want to play, they can only go away for a couple of weeks. And Ajataruchi, Raghunuga, Sadhana Bhakti is what we're doing. Ajataruchi means Ajata before Ruchi is born, although we may not have a full taste. But because we're engaged in following the footsteps of the Goswamis, specifically Rupa Goswami, and all the modes of worship, Ajata Ruchi, we're not experiencing the full taste, but that will come naturally over time. Prabhupada describes how we get up to perform Mangalartik, and at first it seems that we have to regulate ourselves, and then after some time we jump up because we're thinking, I have some new outfit for Krishna, or I want to go out warm Krishna's outfits up before I put them on, or I want to be there to lead the kirtan, because there's a way in which when we sing the Gurvashtakam, we feel that the forest fire of material existence is being extinguished. And gradually there's a natural sense of spontaneity in worshipping Krishna that awakens due to the stimuli, especially Tulsi Devi. So we keep Tulsi at home. Expansion of Vrinda Devi, who's here in this place, organizing the pastimes of Krishna, her parrot flying out, coming back, giving information, making the requisite arrangements for the day. Her guru, by the way, is Purnamasi. So everybody is working together, Parasya Shakti Vivadai Vashruyate. These are not impersonal energies that are spoken about in the Shastra. They're all personalities. And they're all working for one outcome, is that's to please Krishna. In the Gita, Krishna gives some indication. Yajñārthāt kaunteya nyatra loko karma-bandhanaḥ tad-arthaṁ kaunteya mukta-saṅgaḥ samācara. That if you do some yagya in any place, any time, then you'll feel naturally satisfied. Because this is our eternal constitution position. We enjoy unlimitedly by serving Krishna. The more we give to Krishna, the happier we become. Naivātmanaḥ prabhur ayaṁ nija-lābha-pūrṇaḥ mānaṁ janam aviduṣaḥ karuṇo vṛṇīte yagya jano bhagavate vidadhīta mānaṁ tad-arthaṁ prati-mukhasya yatā mukha-śrīḥ. Prahlāda Mahārāja says that those who are properly aligned know that the more they give to Krishna, the happier they become. Because, he says, and he gives an example, we're parts of Krishna, we're like reflections of Krishna. The way, if you look in the mirror, you'll see your reflection, and if you stand in front of the mirror and decorate your face, put on nice tilak or gopi dots, then you'll look and see that the reflection is also decorated. So he gives this example that we feel naturally happy when we make an arrangement for Krishna's senses to be satisfied. One of the ways that Ekadashi is especially honored is because it's a day in which there's a surge from the moon and the senses become more active. So the devotee's reasoning is, well, Krishna's senses can get more enjoyment on this day of Ekadashi. So we'll just fast and feed Krishna and serve Krishna as much as possible on Ekadashi, because the devotee's idea is that the more sense gratification we give to Krishna, then the happier we are. Of course, they're not considering, are the devotees, that I'll be happy by serving Krishna. They're just aware of the fact that they only want to serve Krishna. And Krishna, of course, notices that the devotees, in serving him selflessly, are enjoying more than he is. This is the reason for Lord Chaitanya's descent. It's because, as Kaviraj Goswami says, the selfless service, for instance, of Srimati Radharani, and the way that she enjoys by seeing his beauty. Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima kidrisho vanayaiva swadyo yena bhuta madharima kidrisho va mariyaha saukyam chasya mad anubhavata kidrisham beti lova tad-bhavada samajani sachigarva sindhu harindu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born from the moon from the ocean. He appeared golden, and he came from the ocean-like womb of Srimati Sachi Devi. But why? He wanted to taste the same happiness. What is it that Radharani's tasting when she worships me, when she sees me, the pleasure she experiences? Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima. How great is that love, he wants to know. What's the end of it? Is there any end to that? Saukyam chasya. What's the happiness that she experiences? So, we're in a good position as eternal living souls, because although God is the supreme, there have to be supreme appreciators. Great aren't great alone. What's the use of being great unless somebody can watch you? If you're a great athlete, you want to be on television during the Olympics when most people can watch you. If you're a great musician, what's the use unless you can play in front of a group of people who say, very good, very good. And so Krishna is amazing in all ways. One of the features of the spiritual world is chamatkar, amazement. That every time you see Krishna, you say, he did what? The news in the morning comes out every day. He killed a gigantic python. Just as a baby, he killed a witch who grew to 8 miles long, and so on. It's the news here in Vrindavan. So, our simple worship of Tulsi and the ways in which we've been given to offer everything to Krishna in our lives is even what Krishna is after himself. That's why he comes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to experience the enjoyment of the pure devotees but especially Srimati Radharani. Srila Prabhupada introduced Tulsi worship. Govinda Dasi, he mentions in the purport, who was the first one to sow Tulsi seeds and successfully grow them in the West. And Prabhupada was delighted. It's amazing to go back and see the history of how, one by one, the activities of the 64 items of devotional service unfolded within the community of devotees growing under Prabhupada's care. And now it's universal. Everyone worships Tulsi Devi. The prayer itself is a prayer that we may notice. Of course, it's in Bengali. But then we're asking to become manjaris and follow in the footsteps, be servants of Krishna in very esoteric ways. So when we perform these simple devotional activities, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, perform the simple activities, but do it with great care. And enter into it with a deep understanding of what you're doing. I heard a story about the Gaudiya Math and how one day at the Math, the sannyasis there at Mangalartik saw a little boy who had come, and they were wondering where he came from. There were no families around, no kids, just sannyasis. And after the Mangalartik, they went over and said, "Little boy, how did you get here?" And he said, "I walked." He said, "Where do you live?" And he told where his village was, and it was miles away. And he said, "Why did you come all this way for this Mangalartik?" And he said, "Someone in our village said that you sing. It's the Guruvashtakam. You know, the Guruvashtakam has a 9th verse. How's that start? Shri Guru Ashtakam Etarushya Brahme Mahorte Patita Prayatnat Yastena Vrinda Vananasa Sakshat Sevaiva Labhya Janashunta Eva. That's the 9th verse of the Guruvashtakam. And in it says, when you sing this song during the Brahma Muhurta in a loud voice, said, you go back home, back to Godhead. So the little boy heard that in his village, and they said, where do they sing it during this time? And they said, oh, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's temple. So he said, I'm going. So he went off on his own, almost like a little Dhruva Maharaj. And so the sannyasis, it's a tender scene, isn't it? These sannyasis, they brought the little boy to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta to meet him. And he said he walked all this way because he heard if he sings the Guruvashtakam, then Krishna will be pleased and he'll go back to Godhead. He said, so how did you get here? I walked. And he said, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, buy him a bicycle. And then he came regularly to the temple. So anyone can perform these simple activities by just appreciating that they're all highly potent. Worshipping Tulsi, we hear in the nectar of devotion, just by seeing Tulsi, by touching Tulsi, offering Tulsi to Krishna, then one it can attain pure love for Krishna. So here in this beautiful place, we have 5 minutes left to sing a little bhajan. Right?